Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I am doing, what am I saying? Okay, wait, start that again. So I'm doing a video for my hormone ride segment, but this is going to be a little bit different because we're actually doing like a mukbang, is that what you call it?
Yeah, we're doing a mukbang.
A mukbang video meshed with talking about periods. This is my cousin Emily.
Hi.
She's been in one of my vlogs before,
I
but
have.
we haven't done like a main video.
No, we haven't. So this is the
So
first time
I'm very excited. In this video, we're going to talk about when we first got our period, an embarrassing story, and then just like maybe what we use when we have our period. I feel like a lot of women are kind of embarrassed to talk about periods. Like I feel like there's a bit of a stigma around the whole thing. It's getting a lot better because more and more women are talking about it online and stuff like that. But I was saying to Emily earlier that when I was about 13, 14, 15, I used to feel really embarrassed about my period. Around my friends and everything, in school, I used to feel really embarrassed and would pretend that I didn't have my period. And I still feel like today, as a nearly 30-year-old woman, I still feel embarrassed about it. Like I'm getting better, I feel like now not so much, but I still find myself like hiding the fact that I'm going to the bathroom to change a pad or something. And I think it's because I used to be embarrassed about using pads.
Yeah, I think that's a really big thing. Like a lot of girls are embarrassed about what they use for their period.
Yeah, because a lot of my girlfriends used to use tampons.
Yeah, same.
And that was like the cool thing to use. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was like the cool thing to use. So I felt like such a loser for using a pad because I didn't like tampons.
It's so true. 'Cause so many girls will be like, oh, I don't use pads. Pads?
Like, yeah, like ew, pads. Oh.
Ew.
And I was like, yeah, I don't use pads. I use a tampon. I didn't. I use pads. I'm a pad girl. I'm happy to say that now. Yeah. But I used to be really embarrassed. If you're young and you haven't had your period yet, or you've just got your period and you feel kind of weird about it or embarrassed about it, maybe we can help you by talking about these things. So anyway, we're going to eat and we're going to talk.
Yep.
And that's it.
We hope you enjoy it.
So we got grilled. I got the vegan cheeseburger.
Yep.
Beef burger. And you got what?
I got the hemp. What is it called? Like the hemp burger or whatever it is. I got the vegan version.
Yeah, and then we got zucchini fries.
Yep.
Potato fries, and then sweet potato because, you know, we're on our period. We need carbs. Every day. Never done a mukbang.
I think I was 12, but before I ever got my period, so my mum I grew up with a single mum household because my parents got divorced, obviously, but my mum really prepared me for getting my period. Like, she was always telling me around the age I was going to get it, she'd be like, if you know you start bleeding, you got to tell me. And I was like, okay, all right. Okay, mum.
Stop bleeding, tell me.
Yeah, and it was just like, you know, not even maybe a day or 2 days, and then I never got it again for another like 6 months, I think. It was like a really long time before I got my next one.
So you got you got your first period for like 2 days?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I didn't get it for quite a while. And then I started getting it regularly, obviously. So yeah, when I was in high school. But like you were saying before, I was embarrassed too because I was one of the first people in my group of friends. When I was in the 7th grade, I got my period and none of my friends did. None of them. They had nothing. They had no boobs. They had like nothing, and I was like embarrassed because I was already going through this stage in my life, and I didn't want to talk about it to anyone, and
because no one talks about it. Like I remember not wanting to tell any of my friends about it because I was like,
because it was just
not something that you want.
No.
So then, what did you like? Did your when you first got it?
Yeah.
Did you have anything prepared? Like So where were you when you first got it?
At home.
You're at
Luckily, I was at home.
So like, did Joey have like anything there or like prepare?
Yeah, so my mum obviously had some stuff because as a woman, you keep stuff around. So yeah, I told my mum and she just gave me a pad, so that was it.
Was it uncomfortable? Because I remember feeling really uncomfortable.
No, not really. No.
Like even wearing a pad was really uncomfortable the first time.
It was kind of weird because you can, it's
weird.
Yeah. It's like something in your pants.
It's like a nappy.
It's like a nappy, yeah. That's what it feels like the first time.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like uncomfortable with or anything. But I got, the talk about whether to use pads or whether to use tampons. And
did you?
Yeah, my mum was definitely about pads. Yeah, she was like, if you use tampons, there's because I think it was around that time, that there was a lot of people getting toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, from tampons.
Yeah, so she was like, be careful.
See, that's interesting that you remember those like fine details. I don't remember like, I honestly don't, I mean, my mum probably talked to me about it.
Yeah.
My mum, you're probably going to watch this video, so you can tell me. My mum probably did talk to me about it, but I don't remember that. I don't remember having the conversations like, you're going to get your period soon, or like, when this happens. Like, I don't remember that kind of conversation. I just remember, like, I was in Sorrento. We had a holiday house in Sorrento. We must have been there for the weekend, because I remember going back to school and still having my period. So we must have just been there for like a long weekend or something.
Yeah.
And I had my friend down with me, and we went to the movies in Sorrento, and we had this like big thing of popcorn, and I remember being in the movies, like eating the popcorn, and I started to feel like really sick halfway through the movie. That like sick you get just before you get your period, like that I'm really hungry but I feel nauseous kind of feeling. And I thought it was just because I ate too much popcorn or something. And then after the movie finished, we went into the bathroom, went to the toilet, and then as I went to like flush, like I always like, I don't know why, it's like habit, you like look and then you flush. And that's when I saw like blood there. And I screamed, and my friend was in the next stall.
Really?
Yeah. And I screamed, and she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, something's wrong with me. There's blood in the toilet. And I was 13, by the way. I was 13.
Yeah.
And I obviously knew about periods. Like, I knew about them, and I knew what it was, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's not the first thing that went into my mind when I saw it there. So I screamed, and then, I told my friend, I was like, there's something wrong with me, there's blood in the toilet. And she's like, oh my God, you got your period. She's like, girl, you got your period. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, what? I got my period? I was just like, I was not thinking of that. I don't know why. So we walked back home, and then I remember going in, and I think I like went up to my mom and kind of whispered it to my mom, like, oh, I think I got my period. I can't remember, but I don't know if like my dad was there and overheard the conversation, or I told both my parents, or my mom went and then told my dad. I can't remember. Yeah. But all I remember was being in the hallway, and then they found out that I had my period, and both my parents went, oh my God, my little girl's growing up, and like gave me a cuddle, and were like, oh, well done.
Well done.
Got your period. Do anything. They both gave me a hug, like I had, like, I don't know, like it was something to congratulate me for. And my dad was like, oh, my little girl's growing up.
Did you want to cry?
What?
Did your dad want to cry?
I don't know, probably. I don't know, but I was so embarrassed in front of my friend, because they were like, not jumping up and down, but like they were excited. I'm like, what are you excited about? This is not exciting.
No.
And then
it's really not.
I don't know, my mum must have had pads or something in the house. I can't remember. I just remember feeling really uncomfortable, like wearing a pad. I just felt really uncomfortable. And I had to go, see, this is the thing, I can't remember whether I then had to go to school, like just after that, and still had my period. So I was in like I was in 6th grade. I was still in primary school. Yeah, so I remember feeling like going back to school, having my period for the first time and feeling really uncomfortable. Like I didn't like the feeling of a pad. Now I don't even notice that it's there, but I think my mum must have given me like the super pads because I felt really uncomfortable. Yeah. And I remember them being like
giant.
And like, do I have to wear this for the rest of my life? Like some nappy. It was really uncomfortable. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story, but I don't remember, like that's interesting, you remember like having a talk.
Yeah, it was just like the talk about, like my mum always prepared me. I guess she didn't want me to freak out or anything like that, and like, I'm her only daughter, so she'd never experienced that with my
See, my mum's had to do it twice before that.
Yeah, see my mum had never had to do it before. She was like, you'll be right. The other one's alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just kind of prepared me and gave me the pad versus tampon talk.
I'm a bad girl.
It's okay, I'm a pad girl too.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I just don't feel as comfortable using tampons as using pads.
Yeah, I don't feel as secure either. I feel like anything, like I remember trying tampons when I was in high school because all of my friends were doing it. So I was like, okay, well this is what I must have to do, so I'll give it a try. Because all of them were using them, and I felt like I wasn't cool enough. It's really weird. It's stupid. I felt like
it is stupid, but
felt like I wasn't cool enough. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try it, whatever. And I tried it, and I was in class, and I just worried about it the whole time. I felt like it was going to fall out. I felt like I was going to bleed everywhere. I just felt really insecure about it.
You feel like if you sneeze, it's gonna go.
Exactly right. I was on the pill for a very long time, as most of you know if you've followed this segment. I've noticed that being off the pill after 11 years, being off it now, I get the same symptoms as what I got before I went on the pill. Like I remember them being very, very similar. My period has obviously changed a little bit. So I get a headache, like days before. So probably about 2 or 3 days leading up to my period, I'll start getting a headache, like that dull ache, kind of constantly. I'll get extremely tired. Usually the day before or 2 days before, I get bloated. I get extremely like hungry, like that nauseous hungry feeling. Like you can eat, I could eat constantly and still feel hungry. One thing I have noticed that obviously didn't notice when I was on the pill, but the day before, mainly the day before, maybe 2 days before, I get in that headspace of like, I guess PMSing. But I get really I feel really down and depressed the day before. Like not emotional, but like kind of this like really depressed feeling, and yet nothing is wrong. Like nothing's happened, or I don't even know why I feel that way. I just feel really sad and really in a depressive, negative state of mind.
Do you feel like anything kind of makes you feel like you want to cry?
Yeah. And I always, every time I have this thought like, what am I doing with my life? I'm not doing anything with my life, and where am I going, and what's my purpose in life? And
so sad.
I know, but they're the thoughts that run through my head.
Oh my god.
Like a day or 2 days before I get my period. And even though I track my period on an app and everything, and I basically know when I'm going to get it, every time when I feel this way, I forget that I'm about to get my period. And then when I get my period the next day, I'm like, oh, that's why I was depressed yesterday. There's no other reason. Because I walk around going, why do I feel so like, bleh? Like just like down. I can't even explain my feelings. My feelings just don't, there's no pinpoint of like, why I feel that way. I don't get any cramping. I've never been one to have period pain. I might get a slight period pain the first day of my period. I also like get a bit more insomnia. I know that's a thing with some women. They can't sleep. I usually get that around, I mean that happens to me all the time, but it happens more so in my period. I do break out one or two pimples?
I get similar symptoms to you, so I get really hungry, like my appetite increases. I get it maybe the week before, I would say. I start to get like it's a bottomless pit in my stomach, and I could just keep eating and eating.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's really weird.
Can someone explain that out there?
Yeah,
Some scientists.
someone tell us why. And I'm not like, if I'm full, I'm full. Like I won't eat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I just feel like I'm not full ever. I do get the tiredness like a couple of days before I'm exhausted. I do get a headache. Usually the day before I get a really bad headache. You get depressed. I get irritated. Like I guess it's PMS, but things make me annoyed. Like things that don't normally annoy me just get on my goat. Like I'm just like,
That's so bad.
Yeah. And sometimes I get, it's either that or I do get sad. Like something will make me cry, and I'm like, I wouldn't normally cry about something like this, and I know it's just, I must be getting my period. When I have my period, I don't get cramps. I know people who do, and they get them quite
really
severely. I do get a bit of an ache in my lower abdomen, like around there. I feel like
where sometimes you have to stop and like just need to breathe for a second.
Yeah, you just need to like I feel like, this is gonna sound gross, but I feel like I can feel stuff
coming
out. Yeah. Sometimes very, very rarely, I'll get a sore back, like lower back. I think that's about it.
Sore boobs.
Sore boobs.
Forgot.
Yeah, so I forgot about that too.
One.
That's the big trigger.
Although again, like,
Although
this is something I can't predict.
yeah, neither can I, because it comes sometimes and then sometimes it doesn't happen.
Like, like say last month, like the week before, exactly, I got really sore boobs the whole entire week leading up, and then as soon as I got my period, it was gone. This time around, I didn't get any sore boobs, like hardly, like maybe kind of a little tiny bit, but nothing.
Yeah.
Where I was actually like yesterday, I was like, oh, I haven't had sore boobs like leading up to my period. That's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Sometimes I do too.
Change in hormones or something?
Sometimes I don't. It was probably about 15. I was out with my mum in the city, and I think I'd seen you that day, or I don't know, I'd done something, and I was wearing, it was summer.
It's always summer.
And I was wearing this, like, I obviously had my period, and I was wearing this blue dress, and my mum and I went somewhere to have a drink, like, just to get a cool drink or to eat. I can't remember what we did. But I remember I sat down on this, like, a cushiony chair, like this, and then mum and I were doing whatever, and when I got up, she was like, oh, Emily, like, she's like, you've had an accident, it's all week. And I was like, oh my god, like I had nothing to fix it. But my mum had a cardigan, and she was just like, just tie this around your waist. The good old cardigan. Yeah, so that's probably the most embarrassing, because I was only young, and I was like, oh my god, who saw? Like in public. Other times I've had accidents, I've been at like, just because I've stayed at a friend's house and had nothing, or basically that. But
mine's the same, pretty much the same story. Yeah. But mine was at school.
Oh no!
And it happened multiple times. Sky. I remember being in class, and it was summer, so I was wearing my summer school uniform, and it was really hot. We were in class, and I felt it. Like I could feel it, you know, when you can feel it almost like going through your underwear. Even though I had a pad on, but it was like, is this too much information? It was like near my bum crack type thing. Do you ever get like the bum cracks?
No, I've never had that ever.
The bum crack sweat. I think that's the one with me. Someone out there must have bum crack sweat. And I think that's like, I don't know, no, this is too much information. Anyway, I got it on my underwear and it like came through onto my dress. And I knew it had happened, I could feel it.
That's so embarrassing.
And I was so embarrassed, and I just like, the bell went to like, I think we were actually like finishing the day. And usually, I would always, even in summer, I would always carry around my jumper when I had my period, just in case something happened, because it's happened to me more than once. So I was like always prepared, but this time, I didn't have my jacket or anything like that.
Oh no.
My jumper. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? Like, all my friends are going to see me. This is going to be so embarrassing. Always doing something that's embarrassing. Like, why does this always happen to me? And lucky, I like kind of looked at one of my best friends that was sitting next to me, and the bell went, so everyone went to get up, and I was like, I can't get up. And she's like, why? What's wrong? Get up. Like, we're going home. And I'm like, I can't. She's like, why? I'm like, can I borrow your jumper?
Yeah.
And she's like, why? I'm like, can I just borrow your jumper? Like,
give me your jumper.
I'm giving her Morse code through my eyes, and she won't like understand. Anyway, I think I like whispered to her, like, I've had an accident or something. And so she gave me her jumper, and I just had to like tie it around my waist.
Yeah.
And then like go to the bathroom, and then I think I took her jumper home. Don't worry, I washed it, and then I like brought it back the next day. Actually, as I was like telling that story, I remembered it happening, and I didn't have anything, and I had to walk out. Dude, it's happened to me like more than God, that's really bad. I remember it happening in class again, and I didn't have anything, and I didn't have any friend to ask for a jumper.
Oh no!
Like, it was summer, like no one ever took their jumper, and I had to literally like put my hand on it and like kind of like scrunched my dress around, like as I was like holding my dress. And I remember one of my guy friends saying to me, why are you holding your dress for like that? I was like, oh no reason, like I was just trying to rush to the bathroom and like try and like clean it up or something so I could like not be embarrassed about it.
Oh, I feel so sorry.
Yeah, I had to like hold it and then like hold it here so I could like, it was only like a little, you know, like a little spot like that, but so embarrassing. See, I needed the period undies when I was in high school.
Yeah, we really needed period undies.
Yeah, see, any young ones, you're lucky. You get the period undies to protect you.
It's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Everyone's cycle is different. You may not be the 28-day cycle that a lot of other people are. You might be in tune with like the moon. When the, you know, full moon or half moon or whatever moon, you could be, I don't know, a 30 or 35 day. Like I myself, my cycle is not a regular, exactly 28 day cycle. It's not like that at all. And I've known that for quite a while, and I'm glad I know that because it puts me at ease.
Because you think that like if you are not on a 28 day or 30 day cycle,
you think you're
something's wrong with you.
Yeah, you think something's wrong with you.
Everyone's got a different cycle. And it's interesting that you say about the moon, because it might sound a bit weird, but I never used to really think about the fact that our cycles as women follow the moon.
Yeah.
But they do.
They do. They really do.
You're either a full moon cycle or a new moon cycle, or you might be a crescent moon cycle.
Yeah, you might be a crescent moon.
Mine changes all the time. Talking about cycles, I'm a 28 to 30 day cycle.
I'm a 30 to 35 day cycle, and I've had times, especially depending on what's going on in my life, if I'm feeling stressed, it will be a lot longer. But
Stress
that's another
can
thing.
Make it change.
Yeah, and I thought I was weird, especially when I was, getting to 18, 19. You're at that stage in your life when, you make adult friends or whatever, and I didn't get my period regularly, and I thought I was a weirdo, but you're not a weirdo. You have your own cycle and your own body.
Also, the length of time of your period will be different. Some girls get it for 7 days, some girls get it for 3 days, some girls get it for 2. Like, mine is probably anywhere between 4 to 7 days.
Yeah, mine's the same.
I don't know about you, but I feel like there was always some kind of negativity around getting a period or having a period. Like, all girls used to complain about it, and like oh, I hate my period, and like, why do we have to have periods, and this is shit, and like, just always this very negative energy based around periods. So it kind of was something that just used to like kind of be implanted into my brain, like I have to hate my period, and I have to like dislike my body when I'm having my period. And like, as I've gotten older, especially since going off the pill after 11 years, I love my period.
Yeah.
Like, I love my period. I love when I get my period because I know that my body is working correctly. We're supposed to have our periods. That's what it's there for. It's getting ready to, you know, have a baby and like your hormones, and like this is how a woman's body works. It's there for a reason. I also feel like it's a time where you can go more internal and love your body more and really like look within in that time frame. It's like a very still time. It kind of reminds you to take care of yourself and look within. So I think it's like, yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have. And I feel like more and more girls should embrace it and be positive about it.
You should be positive. That's why I said the world's not going to end because you have your period.
No.
Because there was so much negativity about having it. We should be, you know, grateful that we get it because it's normal and it means you have a chance to have a child someday.
Yeah, you know, it's very empowering. It's a fresh start for yourself. You know, you have your period every single month, so the cycle goes round just like, you know, the moon goes round. And when you get to that, having a period, it's like, okay, it's like your body is checking in at the end of that month to kind of rework on certain things that you need to work on that haven't happened in that month. Because if you don't, you just continue going round and round and round and round in a circle and repeating the same cycle. So it's like a new beginning. When you get your period, you're revamping your body and you're having a new beginning.
Your period, it's a time for you to just love yourself.
Yeah, I think that's it for this video.
Yeah, I think that's about all we have to discuss.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video talking about our periods.
I hope you enjoyed this video talking about our periods.
Yeah.
too.
Anyways, love you all. Bye.